Here you go, baby. Baby mama, daddy. Whoever you are, whatever you are, however you identify yourself. It is happening right now. Look at that, all blurry and out of focus and weird framing. It doesn't make any sense at all. It's like a Husker Du song. It makes no sense at all. But this is the way we do it. Yep, it is low budget. It is lo-fi. It is DIY. Keeping the spirit of cable TV alive. And it is indeed the crown jewel of Facebook live streaming. You guessed it, baby. You're talking about Tent Talks Tunes. Coming at you live every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On everybody's favorite social media platform, I, of course, refer to Facebook. Good old Facebook. Can't live with it, can't live without it. So we choose to live with it. Ray Gelman knows what I'm talking about. Ray, whenever Ray is not in Facebook jail, she's in the Facebook free land. I've never been in Facebook jail, not yet anyway, but I can relate. It's another Husker Du reference. If you want to be in a free land, everybody's an authority. And we'd rather be free in Facebook than in Facebook jail. Dan is tuned in from Los Angeles, California. Yay. Hello, Dan. And I see we've got some other people. Pear from good old Scandinavia is present. We are now officially international. Thanks for tuning in, Pear. Always good to know that you're here. Eric is here, Mr. Eric Johnson. Welcome aboard, sir. It is indeed TTT in full effect. Flexing my vlog muscle for all you people out there. Oh, boy. Yeah, we're going to get right down to it. You know, it's funny that Eric Johnson should be chiming in right now. Because as we all know, before I get into the meat of Tent Talks Tunes, I like to check the mailbox. I like to check the calendar, the date book, if you will. We'll start with the mailbox first. Did I say the name Eric Johnson, the man from Scene Raw TV, who did indeed send me an envelope to the correct address, Malcolm Tent, P.O. Box 3626, Newtown, Connecticut, 06470. Yep, that's my address. P.O. Box 3626, Newtown, Connecticut, 06470. Eric, my man, he does indeed host and create and curate Scene TV Raw. If you like skateboarding, if you like punk rock, you might want to check it out. I don't know very much about skateboarding, but I checked out a couple episodes of Scene TV Raw recently, and I liked what I saw. Episode I watched the most of had an interview with Captain Sensible of The Damned, who came across as a very erudite, funny, and decent dude. And I learned a lot about skateboarding, too. So Scene TV Raw, kids, check it out. While you're checking out Scene TV Raw, let's check out the contents of this mysterious space-age package that I got from Eric. I mean, I've already opened this. This is kind of cheating, but let's just pretend. Let's just pretend that we're opening this stuff up and looking at it for the first time as we spill out the contents. Oh boy, yes, you know, it is indeed Christmas time. It is indeed winter time here in the frozen north. And what is better for a cable TV show's host's tootsies than a pair of Devo socks? Yes, thank you, Eric, for the Devo socks. If I were the type to walk around sticking my feet into TV camera lenses, I would certainly do so with this fabulous set of Devo socks. Thank you very much. You know I'm going to be sporting these proudly and loudly. Also, I don't mind it when people do their house cleaning and send me some of their effluvia, especially when it's a cool-ass thing like a We're All Devo VHS. Yes, this is the second edition on Rhino. And it is VHS, baby. It's clean, it's lean, it's a devolved machine. Eric, thank you so very much for sending this. And look at that, I can actually give you people some visual Stimulus, Scene TV Raw. The only other show on the internet that's at least as cool as Tent Talks Tunes. What else did we get in the mail? Some very mysterious mail from my guy, Jason Rogers, in Cobleskill, New York. Jason, every once in a while, will send me an envelope. You'll notice it's also addressed to TPOS, P.O. Box 3626, Newtown, Connecticut, 06470. Full of all kinds of cryptic mutterings on the printed page. I can't even begin to get into all this stuff, but it's art. Just to give you guys an example, the Asymmetrical Anti-Media pamphlet. It's got some reviews, it's got some stories, it's got some writing. It's actually a lot of reviews here, and I just love this. I love reading reviews of records and magazines and videos in a print format. I pay a lot more attention to this than I do, you know, an Amazon review, for example. I don't go near any of that stuff, but this is really cool. So Jason, thank you. I will attempt to get together some propaganda to send you in return. I'm sure it can be done. I'm a can-do man. This is not exactly the mailbox, but I did get some really cool stuff from my main man, Sean Mosher, who lives way the heck out in the wilderness of somewhere in Connecticut. I don't even know where. But I ran into him this past weekend at the Punk Rock Holiday Flea Market. And Sean knows what I like. I've been washing his brain since he was even younger than he is now. Since the days when I had a brick-and-mortar record store, Trash American style, on Mill Plain Road and with the Four Corners in Brookfield. And happy to say that the young lad's turning out okay, and he knows what I like. So he showed up at the Punk Rock Holiday Flea Market, and he brought me the visual that you saw at the beginning of this week's episode of Tent Talks Tunes. Something that has many of the things that I love in life. It's a truck stop counterfeit 8-track of Grand Funk Railroad live album. Grand Funk Railroad live album, as you've heard me talk about on Tent Talks Tunes, it's not even the beacon on top of the mountain. It's the mountain itself. Talk about monumental funk. Grand Funk live album is the be-all and the end-all. And to see it on a fine, fun format like a truck stop counterfeit, it's great. I love it. I might even try to play it at some point. I'm not too sure. These truck stop counterfeits, you never know exactly what you're going to get. This one was made on, interesting. The blank is the Auto 8 Mate, manufactured by Faraday Incorporated. I don't know if you guys can actually see this. It's got the manufacturing information stamped on the back. Kind of hard to make out because it's white on white. But yeah, I just love this stuff. In fact, I'll show you a little compare and contrast. Okay, just feast your eyes on that lens for 1 second. I've got the other object right here, almost at my fingertips. One of the key differences between a counterfeit 8-track and a real 8-track is the counterfeits almost invariably had some kind of generic, cheesy cover art. I don't know what label this is, but, Melody Recording Incorporated from Fairfield, New Jersey. These guys ground out dozens, if not hundreds, of truck stop counterfeits, all with this exact same crown jewel photo. They even pressed some vinyl with this crown jewel photo. So this is what their version of Grand Funk live album looks like. It looks like every other counterfeit 8-track they ground out. Whereas this, and here, if I can get it out of the package, is the real Grand Funk live album 8-track. So, I don't know. Can you guys spot the difference? Can you see how maybe these two things are not exactly alike? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. This one's really cool, the official version, because it has not the cover art that you see on the LP, but the poster that came inside the LP. For some strange reason, they decided to make that the cover art for the 8-track as opposed to the regular album art. And that's yet another reason why I love collecting 8-tracks, because you have so many different variants and versions and weird nonsensical differences. So thank you, Sean. I really appreciate it. This is going straight onto my 8-track Pretties shelf. It is not going anywhere other than that. It will not be for sale at all. Cheers! A big long swig of Danbury Tap to you, Sean. I see that Chris is tuned in. I see that Paul is tuned in. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Always good to have yous. Looking on the calendar, we're at the end of the year, so I have deliberately kept my calendar as clean and clear as possible of obligations because even I, Malcolm Tent, need a little bit of time off. I got to breathe just a little bit. So there's not a whole lot happening between now and I think it's April. We have the next Anti-Scene show on the books in April, and in fact I will now reach over to my calendar, my print calendar, which I was so busy trying to get this newfangled, come on now, this newfangled camera of mine up and running. It makes a better product. Man, it takes a lot of work to get it going. Let's see here, January 2023, nothing, February, nothing, March 23, I might have a solo gig in Bridgeport with King Sexy. That's going to be pretty cool. That's penciled in for March 19th. And then looking forward to April 2nd, Anti-Scene with Hank 4 in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And I should mention also the Anti-Scene 40th anniversary gig. Yes, you counted it right. Not 1, not 2, not 38, not 39, but 40th anniversary gig for Anti-Scene is on September 30th. That's September 30th, the end of September, at the Ground Zero in Spartanburg. So set your calendar by that. The undercards to be announced, but I guarantee that it's two cool bands who we like an awful lot and who have been friends and supporters of ours for a very long time, and we're going to be very happy to have them on the bill. There's been a lot of internet speculation on who those two bands might be. I'm like the Go-Go's, my lips are sealed. You just have to wait, watch, and listen for the official announcement. Cheers, everybody. So here we go. Mike Cook just tuned in and said that the official Grand Funk Live 8-track is the same one that he has and was just playing it earlier today. Mike Cook, you've got the trademark of quality. That is for double damn sure. Just look at that. Look at that. I might have to play this later tonight myself. I might actually do an A-B comparison. Because it's interesting, the fake has the exact same track configuration as the real one. So apparently, I'm going to guess that somebody at whatever this is, Melody Recordings Inc. actually ponied up the $7 or $8 to buy a real one and just stuck it into some kind of like mass duplication matrix and ran these things off by the dozen from one of these. That's probably how they did it. So yeah, I might just go ahead and do that. I think you inspired me, Mike. Thank you for that. All right, let's get down to the hot topic at hand, and that is Christmas music, Christmas records, Christmas tapes, Christmas, maybe even a couple of CDs. I'm just going to be right ahead and I'm going to go right ahead and be shameless. I don't like selling stuff. I really don't. It's so weird because I've made my entire living for the past 36, going on 37 years selling stuff. But I don't consider myself a salesman. I really don't like the act of selling. I love selling, but I don't like having to sell, if you know what I mean. I view myself as more of a conduit between you and the musical artifact that you need. So I feel kind of cheesy and a little bit tacky doing this, but hey, I got to buy the cat food one way or another. Somehow, Harry the cat, who by the way is currently sound asleep over on yon sofa, as he typically is during Tent Talks tunes, he just sleeps right through it. Yep, that's what he's doing. I love the little guy. Sleeps right through my show, but I love it. I love him. He got into a big fight yesterday, by the way. Harry is normally the alpha male in the neighborhood. And he's a lover when he's here at home, but he's definitely a fighter when he's out there. And He'll come in sometimes a little bit clawed up, a little chewed up, but always in good spirits. So I assume that he's winning all the fights. But he came in yesterday a little bit clawed up and a little bit chewed up, but definitely depressed. He was definitely in sad spirits yesterday. He didn't even want to be picked up and held. All he wanted to do was go off to his spot and just sit there in the Sphinx position and kind of stare into the middle distance and basically not deviate from that position all day. He did get up once to eat, and then he went right back, and then he eventually fell asleep. So I think he got his ass beat yesterday, and he wasn't too happy about it. But today he seems to have recovered. He's back to his own hairy self, and he's been in and out and eating and getting in my grill. So Harry's doing okay. And thank you everybody who inquires as to his health. Anyway, I got to buy the cat food for him somehow. So these first few records are Christmas records that I really like, and guess what? They're all for sale. Every Verschlungener one of them. Let's see. I see James Earl Cash is trying to send me a message. James, I love you, guy, but I got to talk to you later. Wait till I'm not on the air, please. Thank you. Okay, here we go. Ready? Showcase Showdown. Ho, 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 chi mean. Backed with Merry Christmas. I bleeped your snowman. Loved the Showcase Showdown. They were from Massachusetts. They were contemporaries of the Pissed from Connecticut. And the Pissed were one of the, if not the, in my opinion, best hardcore punk bands from Connecticut in the 1990s. They rocked. But whereas the Pissed were, as you could probably guess by their name, Pissed, the Showcase Showdown were a little more fun. And they were charismatic as hell, and they were a great live band. So I've got this extremely out-of-print 7-inch single of Ho 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 Chi Mean, backed with Merry Christmas. I fudge-sickled your Santa. It is available for sale from me. Talk to me. Another one, I would certainly hope that Hazel Adkins does not need an introduction. But this is one of the greatest Christmas singles of all time ever. Hazel Adkins doing Santa Claus Boogie on the A side, and an indescribably delicious version of Blue Christmas on the B side. Hazel Adkins, the wild man from West Virginia. Oh, man, oh, man, oh, man. This came out on the superfine Norton Records label many, many years ago. I think it's probably still in print, but I've got this minty fresh copy available for you here and now. If you want to get it, by mail order. Check it out. Red vinyl. Very cheery, very holiday-y. And while we're on the colored vinyl tip, I think that this Showcase Showdown might be on colored vinyl too. Let's take a look. Let's see. Look at that. Showcase Showdown on Yaller. If you put them together, the orange and the yellow, which is almost a Blue Oyster Cult song, you will get somehow, I guess it's more orange. Actually, I'm sorry, red and yellow. Somewhere in there is orange. If you get them both, you can experiment with this at home. You can walk around in the privacy of your own home, pretending you've got some kind of 3D glasses with two colors of translucent vinyl. This is why record collecting is so much fun. You can't do this with an MP3. You can't do this on Spotify. You can't download this kind of fun, people. You cannot do this on YouTube. I mean, you can do it on YouTube, but you can't do it in 3D with tangible objects. Both for sale, both more fun than any human being should be allowed to have. But we do what we want. We're going to have fun. James Earl Cash is messaging me again. Guy, I love you, man, but I'm on air. I cannot answer your questions right now. Talk to me later, James. Earl E is in the house. Hello, hello, hello. Here's another good one on the Norton Records label. Jackie and the Cedrics doing Silent Night Rumble, an instrumental fuzz version. It's a mashup of Silent Night and Rumble by Link Ray. Wonderful paper picture sleeve. Green vinyl. Now you can put this together with the red and the yellow and come up with some kind of sickly swamp purple maybe. Probably couldn't see through it. It might be fun to try. And as the sleeve says, We Three Kings of Orient are. See, now that is a band with a sense of humor. Love it. And I also want to give a little bit of a shout out to Norton in general, because they did a fantastic job and are still doing a fantastic job of keeping artists, for example, like Hazel Adkins, alive. Like, it's quite questionable if anybody would have known about Hazel Adkins if not for the efforts of Billy and Miriam at Norton Records. And Billy's not on the planet anymore, but Miriam is, and she's got the label going. And, Miriam was the original drummer for the Cramps, and of course the Cramps are more famous than the A-Bones, which is the band that she and Billy were in. But whereas the Cramps borrowed or stole incredible old rockabilly and R&B songs and turned them into Cramps songs, Billy and Miriam actually found the originals and reissued them, and in many cases found the original artists who recorded them and got them out of retirement and got them to dig up stuff that no one had ever heard before. So they really, really, really kept the actual music alive. So I'm going to drink a big toast of Danbury Tap to Billy and Miriam from Norton Records. Very nice people, too. Cheers. Okay, there's got to be a way to keep people from messaging me. I love it when you guys message me and want to talk to me, but I can't do it live. I'm sorry, guys. I just can't do it. Don't message me when I'm live. That is my plea to you. I'm down on one bended knee. I'm begging you. Message me later. I can talk to you later. I'm like the Tubes. I'll talk to you later. Here's a fun record by NRBQ. An NRBQ Christmas EP in a plain white sleeve on plain black vinyl. NRBQ, I'm going to admit, they're a band who have a lot of fans and a lot of people really love NRBQ. They're one of those bands, and I might have to do a show. I might have to do Tent Talks Tunes about this topic. This topic being bands who you would think I would like, but I don't. Bands who seemingly have all of the ingredients that I love, but I just can't get into them. And NRBQ, I'm going to be honest, are one of them. They've got a wacky sense of humor. They're top shelf musicians. They've been pretty much DIY their entire careers. They're intelligent. They really know what they're doing, but I don't know. I just don't like them. I just don't dig them. There's something that does not click between me and the Q. Sorry, guys. Will not stop me from trying to sell you an NRBQ Christmas EP. Featuring Christmas Wish, which is an NRBQ original. Here Comes Santa Claus, a traditional song. God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, another traditional song. And Message from the North Pole, which is also an NRBQ original. I dislike these guys so much that I want this record out of here. Buy it from me, please. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you already do. I don't know what I'm doing. Now you heard me guys talk about Ted Franco before. Ted Franco, let's be honest, the alcoholic janitor from Yonkers, who had his son's band Awkward Thought back him up on a couple of records. This is the real deal, kids. Santa Beer Reindeer on the A side. And Santa Baby, If You Kiss My Wife, You Lose Your Life. And what I love about Ted Franco is that he was sincere. He was genuine. He was not ironic. He was not a put-on. This dude meant it. Every syllable. And this record is great. This record was a staple of my annual Christmas show on WNHU. I used to do Mr. Tent's Wild Ride radio show on WNHU. And I guess I might as well take this moment to just finally state publicly once and for all, I'd actually kind of forgotten, I'm not doing Mr. Tent's Wild Ride anymore. Mr. Tent's Wild Ride is history. It is kaput. There have been a number of factors that are in play for that. I kind of hate to see it go. I always loved doing radio. I had a 2-hour show every week on WNHU, and I could go on the air and play live music and do what I'm doing now, but instead of talking about the music, actually playing the music. And a whole number of circumstances have conflated to make me not do radio anymore. If you want to know all the gory details, I'll give them to you. But yeah, it's history. Sorry, guys. I never even got to do a farewell show, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. So Tent Talks Tunes is now my preferred mode of expression when I want to commiserate with you guys. So there you have it. The next best thing to actually playing the great music is talking about it. Another staple of Mr. Tent's Wild Ride, the Dickies, Silent Night. There were very few records that I was guaranteed to play every year. This is one of them. Ted Franco was another one. Hazel Adkins was another one. These 3 records got played every year, no matter what, hands down. And this is the UK pressing. It's got a different label than the US pressing. It's on colored vinyl, white, as you can see. And it's got the Sounds of Silence by Simon & Garfunkel on the B side. Dickies were so great. They still are. They're still at it. They've been at it for 45, 46 years, right? You know, and they're still cranking. The first time I ever heard a Dickies record, it blew me into little tiny pieces. I had never heard music played that fast before. Shockingly fast for 1978. And this is before, you know, hardcore. Before there was any such thing as blast beats or speed metal or anything. The Dickies played perfect pop music, but at such a rapid tempo, it was unheard of at the time. And this is a great example of it. They play it straight, they play it sincere, they just play it really, really fast. Is it for sale? Yes, it's for sale. You can see the price, $10. Minty fresh vinyl too. And the picture sleeve's looking great. New York City scum scene on the Vital Music label. We Three Bings. Silk screened cover. Silk screened front. Silk screen back. Numbered edition of 1000. This is number 680 of 1000. This features bands such as Purple Jesus, Lech Patrol, Ed Gein's Car, The Honeymoon Killers, The George Tabb Experience, The Shaved Pigs, Rats of Unusual Size, and all kinds of no good nicks. It's got a picture sleeve. You can see George Tabb glowering at you. It's on green vinyl with red labels. Christmassy almost beyond belief. And noisy and ragged and punk. All of the things we like our Christmas music to be. So I'll tell you guys, I don't know if you have the same opinion of it that I do, but I never ever liked Christmas music. Even when I was a little kid, I didn't like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I didn't like White Christmas. I didn't like Jingle Bells. I didn't like any of that stuff. It just wasn't good music. I didn't think it was exciting. I didn't like it. So when punk rock came along and you could hear stuff like the Dickies doing Silent Night, that I liked. You know, and stuff like this. Christmas songs with an attitude. With a little bit of guts, with cojones, with huevos. That's the way I like my Christmas music. Does anybody agree? Does anybody share a similar opinion? Thumbs up? Thumbs down? What's your opinion about traditional Christmas music? I still don't like it. What do you think? I want to hear your opinion because your opinion counts. Oh, I saw some angry faces. I saw some thumbs ups. I saw some, maybe a heart or two. Obviously a big topic of controversy here on Tent Talks Tunes. Now this is one, to this day I've never heard this one. Mainly because this copy is factory sealed original. But it's a Boston Christmas and it's got a song by SSD, aka SSD Control, the classic Boston hardcore band. They do Jolly Old St. Nicholas, and I'm going to guess that this is from their more rock band phase. They were one of the first hardcore bands to go rock and roll, for better or worse. And considering the company that they keep on this one, Christmas, the Boston band named Christmas, and someone called Jeff and Jane, and Native Tongue, and Sonny Columbus and his Del Fuegos, I'm going to assume that this is SSD in their rock band phase. It's sealed, I don't know. Would you pay $10 for it? If the answer is yes, talk to me. Message me in my inbox. There's another record that's well worth paying $10 for, The Damned. There ain't no sanity clause. This, my friends, is punk rock. This is the real deal. This is The Damned in their classic Machine Gun Etiquette era. Oh no, there ain't no sanity clause. What a great, great tune. 12-inch single. On the original Big Beat silver and black label, as you can see. The vinyl is, as it typically is when I sell it, in beautiful condition. You should be able to see the sheen on it. Ain't no scratches or gouges on this one, kids. Great record, great shape. All it requires is a great $10 bill, or some equivalent thereof. That's the front. That's the back. I want you to buy it. $10 doesn't buy as much cat food as it used to, but it'll still buy some. Note the protective plastic sleeve. Sleeve doesn't look so great, but that's why the cover looks great. Whenever you buy one of these suckers, you get a special bonus. It's not quite an autograph, but it is a genuine exemplar of my handwriting. Right there. I wrote that on a plastic bag with a Sharpie. Bonuses, bonuses, bonuses. You get a little tiny piece of me when you buy this stuff. What else will $10 get you? $10 will get you a record produced by a genuine, honest-to-God convicted murderer. Yes, Phil Spector. Phil Spector's Christmas album featuring Darlene Love and the Ronettes and Bobby Sox and who else is on this thing? Darlene Love, did I say? I don't remember. The Crystals, all produced by Phil Spector and featuring a special message from Phil Spector himself long before he killed anybody. This is a U.S. pressing on the somewhat unlikely label of Apple. Now, everybody knows, if you're a Beatles fan, if you're really into the history of the Beatles and the story of their breakup in particular, Paul McCartney never, ever, ever forgave Phil Spector for his production job on the Let It Be album. In particular, he thought that Phil Spector ruined The Long and Winding Road. My opinion is that the orchestration on The Long and Winding Road, as done by Phil Spector, is kind of over the top and bombastic, but it makes it a better song. The bare bones version of Long and Winding Road, which Paul McCartney preferred, is dreary. It's dreary. It's a snoozer. It's not that good. It needed production, and Phil Spector was the only one who could actually do it. So anyway, the other three Beatles loved Phil Spector, and I'm going to guess that's why this album is on Apple. Go figure. 1972 pressing, super clean, $10. Cheap. Message me. Excuse me. Talk to me. I'm getting gross here. I'm burping and belching. It's part of my personality. Let's drink to that. Like Lloyd Price, baby. Personality. This is almost as much fun as doing it in person. Let's see. Yes, Eric Peterson, who's tuned in right now, makes a valid point. The original version of this, which was on, I think, Phillies Records, came out on November 22nd, 1963. Not a good day to be releasing Christmas music. So yeah, it got pulled pretty quickly and shelved pretty much until Apple reissued it with a completely different cover. And this is, by the way, mono. The way the convicted murderer wanted it to be heard. Mono. And that's him on the cover. And that's him on the cover. Hell of a sound, though, I got to admit. When I picked this record up as part of a collection recently, I got a Ronettes record as well, featuring Veronica, Ronnie Spector. And I'd never actually sat down and listened to a Phil Spector production. You know, like everybody knows the Righteous Brothers and this and that. But I took this album and dropped the needle into the groove and started from side one, track one. The first thing I thought when I heard this album by the Ronettes was, holy schmoly, Brian Wilson ripped off Phil Spector lock, stock, and barrel. With the exception of some slightly different instrumentation here and there. It is unbelievable how much Brian Wilson's early productions take from Phil Spector. I never knew. It was like listening to Howlin' Wolf for the first time and realizing where Captain Beefheart got his entire shtick. I was like, caramba! Howlin' Wolf could have sued for copyright infringement, you know, for the sound. And Brian Wilson nipped off Phil Spector wholesale. I think the big difference occurred later as Brian Wilson developed and became more of a producer and composer in his own right. He got into more of a classical sound and a classical feel and a classical scope. Whereas Phil Spector stuck to 3-minute pop songs. And of course, Phil Spector started unraveling at a much faster rate than Brian Wilson did. So, you know, his stuff was confined mostly to a certain period of time, like the late 50s, early 60s, whereas Brian Wilson was able to keep it going for far longer. And he definitely evolved into some weird directions that Phil Spector never did. But man, listen to some of those early Spector productions and listen to some of the early Beach Boys productions. No contest. No question where Brian Wilson got his basic palette of sounds. Uncanny. So uncanny, I gotta wet my whistle. I got a couple of albums for sale. These are very inexpensive because they're pretty good looking clean pressings, but I think Tacoma was pressing on some kind of cheap shite vinyl. 2, not 1, but 2 John Fahey Christmas records. If you want to hear fantastic, flawless, beautiful acoustic guitar playing, John Fahey. Each of these records has some surface noise. It's never so obtrusive as to ruin the music, but there's definitely surface noise. No skips, no gouges, no scratches, but surface noise. What are you going to do? Good starter copies. $5 each, takes them. And that one apparently now has a slight ding on one of the corners. $5. Incredibly cheap. Cheap, cheap, cheap. It's not even that bad. What do you want for $5? Okay, Blake Haight is messaging me right now. Blake, I love you, but I'm going to minimize you because I'm trying to talk to the people. I will talk to you later. Okay, those are the records that were all for sale. Remember, message me in my personal mailbox, and we'll talk about records that I will sell you. I should also mention, as long as we're going to be shameless, like the entire series of TPOS Christmas cassettes that came out mostly in the early to mid-90s. Mostly local bands from Danbury, including Head, GNU Fuzz, Creature Did, Freak Baby, The Bunny Brains, Egg the Poet, some solo stuff by me, Her Tears, Monsterland. I could go on and on and on and on and on. Shyster, Shyster, and Flywheel. I forget. But there's a whole bunch of them. Christmas Clubbed. Christmas Jeer, featuring full-color artwork by Todd Knapp from 76% Uncertain. Christmas Crushing Contest with full-color artwork by Jeff Clayton himself from the almighty Anti-Scene. And one called What's This Got to Do with Christmas, featuring a very bizarre Christmas collage by myself. These are all available. They're all on Discogs. They're also on CD. I'll try to post a link to the Discogs entries for some of these if you guys want to check it out. Good stuff. I would not have released it on my label, TPOS, if it wasn't good stuff. Check it out. Check All right, here's some fun show and tell. We got about 15, 16 minutes left. Some of these might be for sale, but I think most of these are keepers. These are just good for show and tell. These are all staples of Mr. Tent's Wild Ride, which, as you heard a minute ago, is no longer in existence. So I don't have as much incentive to keep all of these as I did before, but I really do like these. This is neither record nor CD, but this is a cassette. Check that out. Husker Du. Promotional only Christmas message cassette from 1986. This is right after they signed to Warner Brothers and they got pressed into duty doing things like this. It's a 30-second radio spot. It's their version of We Wish You a Merry Christmas, but it's not Husker Du as you would expect it. It's actually a really fun live in the studio, or not live in the studio, but a cut-up collage thing with sound effects and merriment. And who knows, there might have even been a couple of radio stations who actually played it. I doubt it. I played it a lot because I love Husker Du. I'm a mark for Husker Du, one of my top 3 bands of all time. Husker Du. They're in the permanent top 3 for me. So this, my friends, is not for sale. This is just show and tell. Picked this up at a record show many, many years ago. Cover art by Fake Name Graphics, a.k.a. Grant Hart. My favorite member of Husker Du. Here's a good one. I think I might have seen Jeff Clayton talk about this one on his show, which is called Break On Through. The Greedies. Any people recognize who these Greedies are? Do any of those faces ring a bell to you? I think I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let you guys tell everybody who is in the Greedies. Pretty sure this is a one-off record. I don't think they ever did anything else, but it's a Christmas record. What's it got on it? A merry jingle on one side, and it's a merry jingle on both sides. I will give you a clue. It was an all-star band, and guess what? Andy Miller guessed it. Andy from Knowledge is for Fools. Fine, fine band who we like very much. Andy guessed it. Sex Pistols, Thin Lizzy, supergroup. It's basically Thin Lizzy with Paul Cook and Steve Jones. Andy, do you know if they did anything else besides this? I think this was the only record they ever did. And it's a Christmas record. How can you not love that? Speaking of something that's kind of in the same vein, another supergroup of all-stars, the Metal Gurus, doing, I never remember the exact name. Oh, Merry Christmas, Everybody. Merry Christmas, Everybody is one of those, modern day kind of holiday perennial favorites that I think is kind of corny and cheesy, but these guys do a real good version of it. Very glam. It's kind of metal, but it's a Slade spin-off. It's Slade, and I don't know who else is in the Metal Gurus, but awesome version of Merry Christmas, Everybody. This I would play every single year on Mr. Tent's Wild Ride. You want to talk about punk rock savagery? The Sonics. Don't Believe in Christmas. It is almost inconceivable that a band in 1965 could make music this primitive, this overloaded, distorted, pounding, and savage. Don't Believe in Christmas by the Sonics. 100% savagery. What a great song. Also happens to be on the Norton label. I don't even work for Norton. I just love the stuff they put out. I can't help it. I'm like James Brown. I can't help it. Did I say James Brown? Well, we got to show you my my favorite James Brown Christmas song. You wouldn't know it by looking at the sleeve. This is a weird French picture sleeve for a song called Hey America. And that song is pretty cool. But the B-side is the money, baby. Don't know if you guys can actually read it, but the B-side is Go Power at Christmas Time. Awesome song. It's basically James putting his band through the paces and having them run off one of the grooves while he just kind of hangs out in front of the mic and talks about Christmas. Only James Brown could have gotten away with that. This is seriously one of my favorite Christmas songs of all time. This also got played every single year on Mr. Tent's Wild Ride. And do I remember correctly, wasn't there a cereal in the late 1960s, early 70s that was advertised as having Go Power? Does anybody out there remember that? Anybody from my demographic, my age group, early Gen Xers, remember what cereal it was that had Go Power? I can almost picture the commercial in my mind. I really want to say there was a polar bear and a bowl of some kind of frosted oats that had Go Power. And I think that's where James Brown got that from. If anybody wants to help clarify that, I would appreciate it. Santa Claus Goes Straight to the Ghetto by James Brown is another favorite of mine. Don't know if I got that one on vinyl, though. Let's see if I got that one. No, I don't have that one on vinyl, oddly enough. This is one that I used to see at the record swap meets in South Florida fairly regularly back in the late 1970s. I don't know why, but there were tons of this record that got dumped on the market in Florida. And they were to be held very cheap. I seem to remember they were usually like $1 or $2 each. It's going to be a Punk Rock Christmas by the Ravers with an awe-inspiring illustration by William Stout. Really good tune. On the Alleged Zombie label, which was really a spin-off of Areola, which was kind of like a major label wannabe. And I forget who is responsible for this. Produced by Harold Bronson. Written by Bronson, Daddy, and Marshall. This is actually somebody. Did I read that correctly? I need new glasses. Yeah, Daddy, apparently. So yeah, the Ravers are basically a major label front of some sort. But the song itself is really, really good. It's a very fun, intelligent, knowing takeoff on punk rock. And they did it so well you could mistake it for real punk rock. Andy Miller says that they were easy to come by in Raleigh as well. So I'm sure there's a story behind that. I don't know what. Maybe somebody out there knows. The Ravers, it's going to be a punk rock Christmas. This one's great. Speaking of punk rock Christmas, how about the Nihilistics? Christmas, son of a bitch. No Christmas for you, no Christmas. What is no Christmas for me, no Christmas for me, you son of a bitch. That's the entirety of the lyrics. Christmas, son of a bitch. Christmas, son of a bitch. Love this song. I think it's about 45 seconds long. 1 minute and 23 seconds. Nothing happy about this one. Great, great Christmas song. Played this one almost every single year on Mr. Tent's Wild Ride, the now late and lamented radio show that I used to do. Now, I mentioned earlier about Christmas songs I really hate. I hate most traditional, normal Christmas songs. Probably the one that gets my goat more than any other. The one Christmas song that I loathe and despise more than any other Christmas song. Does anybody want to take a guess? If you're watching here live on Facebook, I would like you to take a guess. And even if you're watching the rerun on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, maybe you want to post a comment. Just maybe take a guess. What is my least favorite traditional Christmas song? The one that irks me to no end. Eric says, Here Comes Santa Claus. Good guess? Not the one. I don't like that one. Believe me, I don't. But that's not the one. Andy Miller wants to know Paul McCartney, Wonderful Christmas Time. That song by Paul McCartney makes me want to vomit every time I hear it. Vomit. It's cloying. It's cute. It's so sugar-coated, man. Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney. It makes me want to smack the guy every time I hear it, which is not fair because he's about 150 years old now, but he should not have ever recorded or released that song. That's all I've got to say about that one. So yeah, we got 2 guesses. What's the other one? I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. No, don't like that one either. That's not the one. Don't like it. I might as well just go ahead and spill the beans. The Christmas song that gets my goat more than any other, that riles me up even more than Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney, is The Little Drummer Boy. My God, that song gets on my nerves. That song irritates me. I do not like that song. I fucking loathe that song. But I got to admit, there is a mysterious band who I know nothing about. This does not say where they're from. No clue whatsoever. 1983. That's all I know. A group called Those Cleavers. And they do a good version of Little Drummer Boy. Got to admit, it rocks. The only time you will ever hear me play that song is the version by Those Cleavers. And yes, it's true, Joan Jett did a version of Little Drummer Boy. I hate that one. It makes me vomit. Ray Gilman says, what? No Mariah Carey? I've never heard any piece of music by Mariah Carey ever, unless it was an accident, unless it was playing in a mall somewhere, or, you know, I was in the dentist chair and they were drilling my teeth and some Mariah Carey was playing. I don't know. I'm very happy to report that I don't know what a Mariah Carey sounds like. I don't know. And I don't want to know either. Please do not post any links to any Mariah Carey songs because I don't want to know. And I'm not going to listen. I've made it to the age of 58 without Mariah Carey in my life. I think I can go at least another 58 years without Mariah Carey in my life. Yep, pretty sure about that. This one, oh man, another perennial favorite. Now you guys know how much I love exploitation records and any kind of like weirdo like commercial record, you know, like product music, industrial music, civic music. You'd be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't be, but how many cities across the USA have commissioned songs to be released as records extolling the virtues of their city. There's tons of them. In fact, the first record that Tori Amos ever cut was one of those. It was a civic pride record about Baltimore, paid for by the city of Baltimore. When I was a kid in Miami, the city of Miami put one out. I forget what it was called, but it was terrible. They're all terrible, because what does a civic steering committee know about making records? They just hire some bunch of hack studio musicians and somebody who can write a song to order, and they come up with a song about, in this case, Poughkeepsie, New York. And they crank it out and they press it on vinyl. In case you don't believe me, here it is. On vinyl, a song like Christmas in Poughkeepsie. Designed to promote and boost the city of Poughkeepsie, New York. God help me, I love this song. I frickin' love this song. Because it's Christmas in Poughkeepsie, New York. Love it. In fact, I've got a YouTube Christmas playlist. I'm going to post the link to that one for sure, where you can hear Christmas in Poughkeepsie in all of its glory. I was shocked, although I shouldn't have been, to find that Christmas in Poughkeepsie has a full-blown music video to go with it. and it's on YouTube. So yes, keep an eye on the link. I will be posting that when I get off. Treasured. This one's not for sale. All these other records that I showed earlier, they're for sale. Christmas in Poughkeepsie, not for sale. Sorry. Great song. You want to know what a great song is? I'll tell you what a great song is. The Qualities doing It's Christmas Time. Who are the Qualities? The Qualities were a Chicago street corner doo-wop band who were taken under the wing of Sun Ra himself. The great Sun Ra took this doo-wop band and sculpted them in his image and came up with this really wonderful and bizarre record. Happy It's Christmas Time on the A side. Happy New Year to you on the B side. Great, incredible, otherworldly vocal arrangements by Sun Ra. Sun Ra had a thing for bass. He would put the bass way up front a lot of times. And he does that with the Qualities. He has the lead, he has the bass singer singing lead on this. Quite an interesting sound. This is definitely widely available. I'm keeping this one for myself, but you can find it. It's Christmas Time by the Qualities. Love this record. God, so many more. I don't think I got time enough to actually go through all these. I'll just do a couple of quickies. How about this one? Martin Mull. Santa Doesn't Cop Out on Dope. Martin Mull, one of my favorite comedians / humorists of all time. His humor is so dry, you could throw water on it and the water would evaporate. Martin Mull. Fernwood Tonight. Can I get a big amen for one of the greatest TV comedy shows ever? Fernwood Tonight / America Tonight, starring Martin Mull and Fred Willard. Martin Mull. Big shout out to our pals in the Human Adult Band from New Hope, Pennsylvania. They did a split with a band called Earthworm. My band Ultra Bunny has shared the stage with the Human Adult Band many times. I've played solo gigs with the Human Adult Band. And they've done Halloween record. They've done a Christmas record. Sludgy and loud and overdriven to the max. So if you like it really grinding, Human Adult Band. Christmas the way it should be done. And I think I'm going to wrap up with two. These are probably going to be for sale. A Christmas record featuring lots and lots and lots of no-wave bands. You've got James Chance, a.k.a. James White, The Waitresses, Suicide, Was Not Was, August Darnell from Kid Creole and the Coconuts. There's actually two different versions of this. The one that you see commonly is the 1982 revised version. This was pressed in great quantities on the Z label and then didn't sell in great quantities, so it got dumped into the cutout bins in great quantities. So you see this around a lot. Note, of course, the cut corner. The vast majority of these things have a cut corner denoting the cutout. But I also have a copy of the original, the non-1982 version. You can see there's no 1982 seal in the middle, no cut corner, and it's also got a somewhat different track listing. There's 3 or 4 tracks that are on this one, but not on this one, and vice versa. Think that I could be persuaded to part with them both, if the price is right. Ms. Gelman wants to see the back. Here is the back with the track listing. Hope you can read it. Hope the glare's not too bad. Hope the res is okay. That's the 1982 version. And you guys can refer to that later if you want. And this is the 81, 80 version. And there's the track listing of that. Once again, I hope you can read it. But you'll see that there are some differences. So yeah, I got them both. I don't particularly need them or want them anymore. They're up for grabs. And I think the last one I'm going to show and tell, as we all know, there's always somebody who wants to rain on the parade. I mean, like, I just expressed how much I hate traditional Christmas songs. But I like Christmas. And I like Christmas music, as you've just seen. We just spent the last hour talking about great Christmas music that I really like. But there is always somebody who wants to rain on the parade, and they don't want you to have fun no matter what. Which is why you've got an album of old sermons from the 1920s and 30s and teens. Death might be your Santa Claus. In other words, don't you dare have fun and enjoy yourself on Christmas, because you just might die. And you've got all kinds of variants on that. You've got death might be your Santa Claus. You've got will the coffin be your Santa Claus. You've got hell might be your Santa Claus. Dude, if you got a good theme, why not beat it to death? All these nudniks. Will death be your Santa Claus? If I ever feel like I'm having too much fun on Christmas Eve, I'll put this one on. And be grounded back to ugly reality. Meh. Courtesy of a sermon from 100 years ago. Meh. Timeless. No fun mofos. On vinyl. That's a keeper. I ain't parting with this one. I got so much more I could talk about, but I've run out of time and I've run out of voice. And I'm hungry. I want to eat some food. So I'm going to do it. You might ask, what does Malcolm Tent eat for dinner? Well, I can tell you, actually. I can reach over here and show you this. It's not going to be a can of anti-scene possum, because I'm vegan. The can does say to eat more possum, but I'm not going to do that. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. I think I've got a little vegan pizza pie in my immediate future. Delicious whole wheat crust and some vegan cheese. I'm going to put that sucker in the toaster oven and I'm going to eat it. Just like Weird Al would say. So anyway, guys, thank you so very much for tuning in to Tent Talks Tunes. Even if you don't want to buy any of those records, I appreciate you being here because it gives me an excuse to do the next best thing to playing music and listening to music, which is talking about music with kindred spirits and fellow travelers and people who get what I'm laying down. And I really do appreciate you guys coming here to visit me every single week when I'm on the air. So I do intend to be back in about 167 hours' time. So until we meet again, this is Malcolm Tent saying so long from the Nutmeg State.